Thank you for taking some time for yourself. All of us have had the experience of sitting in a comfortable chair and feeling the weight of the body resting securely against it. And I'm sure you've felt how a deep, slow breath can naturally cause the shoulders to drop just a little bit further, have you not? And you can remember how the eyes feel when they begin to grow heavy at the end of a long day, can't you? And the longer you sit there, allowing the eyes to remain closed, the more relaxed the tiny muscles around your eyes feel, don't they? And while you notice that, I want you to discover that you don't have to think or reply or try to do anything at all. In fact, it isn't even necessary to listen carefully to what I'm saying, because your unconscious mind can enable you to just inevitably hear everything you need to hear without any effort on your part at all. And you can wonder if your hands will begin to feel warm. And I wonder if you'll be pleased to notice how naturally, how easily physical touch can become an anchor for safety. You already know how to remember peace. And it's so nice to know that you can allow yourself to feel that heavy blanket of calm settling over you now. Perfect. That's okay. And all that's really important is just allow it to happen. Now I'd like you to have a new experience in a way that meets your needs. I wonder if you'll be curious about the fact that you can visualize a safe inner sanctuary without really trying. Perhaps noticing the temperature. Perhaps beginning to notice a soft, bright light. And I wonder if you've ever noticed how a deep sound can travel through space. Now, of course, I don't know for sure what you're experiencing, but perhaps you're starting to hear the rich, harmonic overtones of the Tibetan singing bowl reverberating through your sanctuary. It may be that you're already aware of how sound travels 5 times more efficiently through water than through air. And since the human body is over 70% water, you can have a specific experience of direct cellular vibration. Can you not? At times like this, some people enjoy letting that sound frequency stimulation guide the body-mind towards homeostasis without really trying. It'll just happen all by itself. And I wonder if you'll be curious as you notice the sound to discover where the body's been holding on to that old pattern of tension. Perhaps noticing a tightness, perhaps beginning to notice a heavy weight. I wonder if you've ever noticed when a sensation is ignored, it has to speak a little louder. Do you notice the beginning of a specific sensation? Have you begun to notice that yet? And while you wonder what that sensation means, I'd like you to let yourself become more and more aware of its shape. You don't need to be concerned if it feels like a long, slow moan of disappointment, because you can simply allow yourself to observe it with an attitude of subconscious openness. I'd like you to discover something about a person I once knew who experienced a very similar kind of internal pressure. This person grew up believing that the constant threat of verbal and emotional distress was totally normal. To survive in that family structure, they had to suppress their inner needs and create a protective emotional mask. Your unconscious mind could understand how that person's mind mistook the high-speed, frantic adrenaline of survival mode for the only excitement they were allowed to have. They lived for years with the distortion that the world is completely hostile. They believed they had to hold on to the anxiety just to stay safe. And that'll probably remind you of other experiences and other feelings you've had. And you can wonder what it will be like when your mind realizes that the mask was only a prop. And sooner or later, I don't know just when, your unconscious mind can give you the opportunity to let that old energy move. It isn't important to hold the emotional wall up anymore. You can allow yourself to let the hidden rage or sadness of a lifetime rise up and wash through the sound waves of the bowl. And you can wonder what it feels like as that protective wall completely disintegrates into dust. And as that occurs, you really can't help but notice the release. It's gonna be a pleasure to just breathe that old breath out, letting that self-blame carry away, so that it's almost as if a heavy iron cage is melting in thin air. And that's just fine. At first, and later, you can discover a new sense of space. I don't know if you're aware of these changes, but it doesn't really matter. Without knowing it, you've already stepped back. You are here, safe, observing from a position of absolute emotional distance. It's almost as though it's just data now, and that's okay. I wonder if you'll be interested in learning how to look at your life through a different lens. All of us know that hurt people often hurt people, do they not? And you can appreciate that their cruelty was from their own wounded egos and lack of awareness. I wonder if it will surprise you when you realize that you no longer need to associate being alive with being at risk. You can decide to let go of their burden, or you can decide to leave it on the screen because you know better than anyone that it was never yours to carry. Perfect. One of the first things you can become aware of now is the ability of your mind to rewrite the screen. I want to remind you of something that you probably already know, which is that your mind possesses a powerful reservoir of remembered wellness. And I think you're going to enjoy being surprised that you can instantly conjure up a time or place where you felt completely safe, happy, and at peace with the universe. Perhaps taking a special kind of enjoyment in your ability to invest this image with a bright, white light. An image capable of simulating a cellular healing response whenever your body calls out for it. And as that beautiful image becomes clearer, you can begin allowing the primordial sound of the universe to animate your breath. Without really trying, your mind can think of the sound ha or ah with each breath out. And you can wonder what it's like to realize that NASA spacecraft recorded this exact sound in the deep silence of outer space. It is almost as if the rings of Uranus are singing the exact same song as the Tibetan bowls, kind of like a cosmic fingerprint of your true essence. And maybe you'll enjoy noticing how your cells are beginning to vibrate at this exact frequency of peace. Very likely, a feeling of deep serenity is filling the space where the anxiety used to live. And that's all right. And I wonder if you'll be pleased to notice yourself moving into tomorrow, carrying this cosmic sound in your cellular memory. Perhaps noticing how easily you wake up. Perhaps noticing how light your chest feels. And if you wish, you can imagine a future situation that used to cause stress. And you can be surprised at how naturally your nervous system remains completely grounded and calm. It is very positive and comforting to know that you can move through your future life with this new resource, completely free from the iron grip of old patterns. Later, whenever you wish to access this state of cosmic calm in your waking life, you will simply feel the warmth in your hands, and your unconscious mind will instantly lower your stress levels and return you to this exact frequency of homeostasis. And you'll be fascinated to discover how naturally this response occurs. And now it appears that already your mind is preparing to bring you back. 1, you can begin to let yourself become more and more aware of the surface beneath you. 2, very likely you can notice the room around you, taking a deep, refreshing breath. 3, moving your fingers and toes as you bring this cellular healing back with you. 4, feeling a wonderful sense of clarity and emotional freedom washing over your mind. 5, eyes open, wide awake, fully alert and feeling completely refreshed. Take a few deep breaths, stretch out, wriggle your fingers and toes, and if you haven't already, open your eyes. Welcome back. You are perfect, just as you are.